All right, part two, we're gonna call this My Mom's New Boyfriend, Al. Written by Tamika Rene'e. Okay, let's do this. I'm gonna do the dedication book the dedication page because I have to read everything in here. Spirit is making me read it all. All right, this book is dedicated to my mother, Miss Nyla H.G. Thomas, who was a very beautiful soul to have as a mother. She had many ups and downs. She had many ups and a lot of downs, but she remained humble and beautiful within it all. She always trusted and believed in God, even in the midst of losing her mind. Next, I would like to dedicate this book to my children who sacrificed time and experience with their mother while I cared for my mother more than I did for them. Thank you, Richard, for taking time away from school to keep an eye on your grandma, watching movies and laughing with her. Thank you for being that shoulder I needed to cry on. I love you, son, and very proud of you. King Gaines, 22, Ricky G, 22. And so as far as school goes, my son was in college. And so my son would come home sometimes and he would spend the time with my mom. He didn't leave college and come home. He was on break. And instead of him enjoying his breaks from college, he would come home and he would help me with my mother. And I really appreciated that. All right, so thank you, little Nyla, for keeping up with your grandma's hair when she allowed. Cooking, cleaning, and spending one-on-one time with her. She enjoyed every bit of it and always loved to call you her namesake. I'm proud of you, darling. Graduate at 16, Sway, Sweet 16 Beauty Store. And so my daughter was named after my mom. My mom's name is Nyla. And so I named my daughter after my mom. And I wasn't really expecting to name my daughter after my mother. It's just that when she came out, she looked just like my mother. So I was like, oh, this is little Nyla right here. And so I named her Nyla. My daughter graduated at 16. She was absolutely determined to graduate. She hated school. At the time, I was a part of the Matrix. So I was like, girl, you got to graduate. I don't care how you do it, graduate, And so she decided that she was going to do everything that she could to graduate. She took extra classes, she did it all. And she graduated. But she used to help with my mom's hair. My mother did not want me touching her hair after a while. And so she would let my daughter do it because, that was her namesake. And whenever she let my daughter do it, it just turned out so beautiful, So yeah. Thank you, my sweet Shanice, for keeping a smile on my mother's face. She enjoyed teaching you her first language and loved that you would speak it with her. I will never forget that when she reverted to her childhood and only spoke Spanish, you were the only one who would understand. I love you, Miss Dancing Machine. So my mother's first language is Spanish. My mother was from Panama, Central America. And so, her first language was Spanish. My mother was very submissive to her husband. She was very submissive to her husband. And so my dad did not want her teaching us Spanish, and his mother did not want her to teach us Spanish, so she did not. So we never learned Spanish. And then when we got older, we didn't even appreciate it either. So yeah. But my daughter, she learned Spanish in school. And so whenever she would come home, she would tell my mom what she learned and everything. And so my mom would kind of assist her in how to say it the right way. And then as my mother's dementia got worse, my daughter began to speak Spanish. Well, yeah, she was speaking Spanish with her, but my mother would only speak her language when she was younger, and so from when she was younger. And so my daughter would listen, and she wouldn't be able to understand everything, but she would catch certain words, and she was like, "Oh, she's saying this or that," you know. So, so that was really cool. And also, when I say dancing machine, my daughter is, she's always been a dancer, the dancing girl of the family. You know how when you're younger, like older people, you know how when you was younger and you was the dancer of the family, your mom would be like, come and show them how you do this dance, you know? That's how I was with her. And still am with her. So, this is the last dedication. It says, thank you to my son, Tonio. Antonio, you were amazing and patient with your grandmother, and I am so very grateful for that. Anytime she wanted to watch a movie on the Blu-ray, you would always stop what you were doing just to help her. If she misplaced anything, which was all the time, you would take a deep breath but patiently help her look repeatedly. You were her Tonio Bonio. She would call him Tonio Bonio. And she loved and appreciated everything you did for her. I love you, son. Thank you. So my mother, because of her dementia, my mother would treat my youngest son not so well because she felt as if he was taking everything from her, and he wasn't. She was just misplacing it, or she was hiding it, I guess because she felt like he was going to take it. And so instead of my son being mad at my mom and being like, why she always blaming me? He took time to actually help her find it. And yeah, my children were amazing, helping me with my mom. They were really good because, you know, there was times when my mother wanted certain foods because my mother would not eat. Like, my mother just would not eat. And so whatever she asked for, I would go get it. And my children would want what she's asking for, and I'm like, no, eat what's in the house. And they couldn't understand it because they were children, but I didn't have the money to, you know, to buy everybody something. And so they definitely sacrificed time spending with their mom, because before I brought my mom down, we lived in Florida, and we lived 12 and a half hours from any and everybody that we knew. And so I was just taking my children everywhere. You know, they was missing family, friends, you know. And so every chance that I got, I would just drive them around to go take them to different beaches and everything. And so, yeah, I stopped doing that because I had to take care of her. I was taking her to the beach to start off with, like the entire family, taking them to the beach. But my mother's legs would swell up, you know, from being in the car for so long. And then sometimes she would be really cranky, and sometimes she would try to run away. And it was crazy. So, excuse me. So I stopped doing that and just kind of focused on my mother, and it took away my children's time. So, so yeah. So this is part 1, part 2 kind of thing. Stay tuned.